Right now I am doing end of year thread inventory so I can start working again. And I thought it would be fun to show you some things that I do and like have to quilt with. And so I keep most of my thread in these green bins, and they stack on each other and they go right there next to the batting under the machine. I just don't use this thread very much, and so like there's certain specific colors that I just don't always need. So I keep them covered in little plastic bags. My favorite thread is the permacore thread, and I actually get it straight from A&E, and they're American and Eford, and so I keep them in those bags just to keep them dust free, which is great. So then I just fill those bins, stack them on each other, keep them under there, and then just pull them out when I need those specific colors. But a majority of the thread I use are the cream and whites, and I have them right here on the second shelf in my Ikea utility cart. And I'm going to show you a couple other things that I have in here as well. So on the bottom shelf I keep, there's a lot of rulers over here that I like. I don't use them all the time, and so I just pull them out when I need them, and they're pushed sideways in that cart. And then this has some batting scraps that I can use I actually use them to oil the machine or to clean it out sometimes. And I cut them up and just put them like right up there when they run out. And then there's also some batting samples that I've used for classes or for the client if they want to know the difference in how batting feels, and just it's good to have that on hand. So on the second shelf I have these awesome side clamps that I use all the time. So you clamp it to the side of the quilt, and then this elastic pulls and you use your other clamps. They're on the edge, and it just gives you a nice even pull on the side of the quilt so that you don't have any puckers or anything. And you don't have like two spots that are being pulled more than the others. So those are from Red Snapper, so just Google that and you can find those. And then I keep, this is my ruler base for my quilting machine. I have a Gamma. And then here's all of the white and cream threads that I love. I love the dyed natural and the antique cream. Let me see which one this one is. So the yellowy cream is the dyed natural. So the antique cream is this lighter one. And then I have a whole bunch of white. It's a poly-wrapped poly thread, which is great. It doesn't have as much lint when you're quilting as in comparison with cotton, and it's a thicker thread, which I like. It's a 30 tex, and so it doesn't break a ton. So it is my favorite brand of thread, and the A&E actually does the signature thread, I think, and so it's just permacore is just a different type of their thread. And then I have a big huge oil thing back here, and then my speaker that I use, and then there are my circle rulers sitting right there. And then I also have a notebook back here that I keep notes in for all of my edge-to-edge quilting. If there's a certain size that I like for some of my edge-to-edge designs, I keep track of it because I want to just refer back to that, so that with basic size, sometimes I like to size them, the patterns up or down, but sometimes I just like to know that it's like remember what worked before and what was great. So I do keep notes with that. So the top, I'm going to show you what I keep on the top. This thing of thread had an actual loop on the bottom, so I'm keeping it here so that I can wind bobbins, because I don't want to have a tension problem with it catching. It really just is not wound correctly on the thing. The thread doesn't have a flaw in it, it just is having a problem. So I keep my Gamble quick change feet there. Here's an awesome ruler from Linda at the Quilted Pineapple. It's her BFF ruler, which is great to go around applique with, or just if you have things you need to go around with your quilting and you just need a little bit of a guide, that ruler is great. Or even her small little edge ruler that she has that's right up there. The Toa tension gauge, bobbin case tension gauge, that's a mouthful. That is a lifesaver as well for getting the right tension on your bobbin. That is so awesome. And I do recommend making sure your the size, before you get one of these, that the size is correct. This is an M and there's also an L. I accidentally got the L to begin with and my bobbin case did not fit in it. So make sure you get the correct, or figure out the correct size before you get it. And the cheapest place I could find it was, I think, Superior Threads. I have to double check on that and make sure. I'll put a link below. And then I have an old iPod to keep my time. And then in these two things are empty bobbins and needles and a little screwdriver so I can adjust my, it is actually a little screwdriver for tightening glasses, the screws on the side of your glasses, which is perfect for adjusting the bobbin case screw. It's like the perfect size. And then this little container has all of the bobbins that have thread on it to be used. So then I have batting scraps, like I said before, to clean the machine and to do oil with. And then this is like a thread catcher. My friend made me this. It looks like a little nacho chip container, but I put thread in it and paper. That's a little trash. And then I keep my edge rollers that I love to use right here along the edge. These are Linda's from the Quilted Pineapple. I have a few different sizes right here. Maybe even 4 different sizes right here. So I love those. And then some paper to write down details on quilts, a measuring tape, obviously to charge my iPad. So, and then my thread thing, a brush to clean my machine. These are my favorite marking pens, and I usually just mark reference dots when I need them. Like when I do edge-to-edge quilting, I need to mark a reference dot on the batting to line the rows up, so I use that. That is a measuring gauge right there. It expands out so you can measure things better. And then just a jar with a bunch of other things that I have in it. Pins and a screwdriver. There's 3 different kinds of scissors. So these are the ones I like to use because they have a blunt end, so they're not gonna cut into the quilt, which is great. And these are my batting scissors. I have a toothbrush to brush out when you unpick all those holes. Sometimes you can just scratch them with your fingernail, or I've heard people also like to use water to spray that out. So anyway, I like to keep that all kind of contained because there's a whole bunch of little things and it all just fits in there nicely. So that's what I do for all my quilting stuff. I do have other books and different things under here that I use, like all the different thread colors from A&E. You can actually get a thread card for free with actual thread in it so you can see what the real colors are, because pictures aren't always that accurate. So I hope that's helpful. I'd love to hear how you organize all of your stuff for quilting, because I know we all have tons of it, but here's the machine and another quilt to quilt sitting there ready to go.